Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. And for October and Halloween, we're doing some candy ones. We're doing candy pieces. So if you are new to the show, welcome. Creepypastas are short internet stories that get copied and pasted across the internet, whether it be on wikis or forums or whatnot. They're usually scary, usually. Maybe.
Sometimes.
Not really. And yeah,
For a bitch, they're scary.
Oh. Yeah, alright.
Yeah, you're a bitch.
Whatever. And yeah, we're doing candy pieces, which is on Creepypasta.wikia. I couldn't find the author, so it's anonymous. Also couldn't find anything on YouTube for it, so weird. But we'll just dive right into this one. So it's about a woman preparing dinner and is disturbed again by knocking at her door because it's Halloween and kids knocking at the door asking for treats.
And she's trying really hard to keep track of the numbers in the story, but she sucks balls at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So many balls.
She goes and gives the kids candy that she's drugged, as has one of her friends down the road, and they've been doing this for a couple of years now.
With vodka?
And meth.
Meth. Why do you have any vodka in there? First off, it's going to be a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the alcohol will burn off in the creation of the candy or chocolate bar in the first place.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's kind of like a... whatchamacallit, a vodka
Injection.
watermelon, where you inject it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
it's still going to smell like
regardless,
vodka.
it's still stupid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's been doing this as well as somebody else on the street has been doing it, and they haven't been getting caught, so they're just keep doing it. Because I guess they don't like kids. I don't know. The next knock is
there is no reason.
That's actually one of my things, but my notes on it. But yeah, the next knock on the door is this kid in a black hoodie and a white mask, like the Jabberwockies crew mask. He knows her name and what she's been doing, and this freaks her out, and she goes after him and. The kid proceeds to harass Anne over the course of the night, knocking on her door and giving her creepy just messages about he knows and stuff like that. Eventually, she calls Peter, the guy down the road, who walks over and pranks her by calling her back and I'm dying, and just prank and scares her and further angers her, and so she slams the door on him. Goes inside, but then after a while the kid breaks into the house and attacks her and antagonizes her, and then transforms into this taller, pale figure, bony, pale figure that she stabs in the face with a knife. And then the next thing we know, she's in a padded room, and apparently she killed Peter, who was rushing to her aid when he heard screaming. And the kid existed, but only for the first time around, because it was the kid next door, and he saw what she had done. Or was it
always her guilty conscience?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I don't care, yeah.
Either way, it's explained very, very poorly.
Very poorly and very rushed. The kid was there. She now sits in a cell for a good long while, presumably for years, hearing the knocking at her door. That's pretty much the story. So my thoughts on this one, it reminded me of the movie Trick or Treat, the wraparound stuff, with the little jack-o'-lantern. And I was getting I was wondering if this story was actually inspired or just derived from that movie, from somebody watching that movie. Just taking parts of it, because it seemed like certain scenes were very similar to the stuff in that movie. The Jabberwockies mask, there's a name drop of the Jabberwockies dance crew, but it really should have just been replaced with a description of a blank pallid mask or something, because I'm familiar with Jabberwockies from years back when they were a crew on So You Think You Can Dance, but I had to look up, I had to look up what their mask was, because I couldn't remember what, I knew they wore a mask, but I wasn't sure which one it was.
Yep.
And it's just a basic fucking drama mask, or, just a face, a normal, ambiguous human face mask that's white. So it didn't need to, name drop that kind of thing.
Well, all it was
confused.
doing was giving a specific mask.
Yeah.
This is the mask.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just kind of...
It wasn't a name drop, it was a description.
Yeah, but I mean, it was
describing it.
Poor description, because, only a handful of people, or a certain amount of people of the readership is going to know that.
Yeah, but how quickly did you find it with a Google search?
I mean, pretty good.
Exactly.
Why are you defending this?
I'm not defending this, I'm defending one choice that you're attacking, Mikey, the E stands for evil here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it is a nitpick, I guess, so, alright.
Yeah.
I don't know if it just stuck with me. So, I like the twist ending about, about her being confused and, having the hallucinations. I just don't know where it really started.
See, now, I think it would have been cool, because, I mean, it wasn't just her guilty conscience.
Yeah.
But I think it would have been really cool if that is how it would have gone. Because, the writer sets it up there was an actual kid, and it's it would have been so much cooler if you've been doing this for years, and your subconscious has been, guilt-ridden, and you've, built up this thing just to... that's accusing you in your head.
Yeah.
So that you come clean, basically.
Yeah,
that would have been a way better twist. And then, you know what? She's fucking Nutter Butters, and she killed a dude, and she's in a padded cell. Again, totally would have still fit.
Yeah. Although, I also it also would have helped with that as well, if we knew exactly why she was doing this in the first place.
Yeah.
Her and Peter just seem to be doing it because they haven't been getting caught. There's no real, explanation as to, why is she pissed off at kids? Why is she doing this to children? She kind of does something because she does it especially with the teenagers and stuff like that, who are kind of...
Yeah, but she throws a handful into the bag of a toddler.
Exactly. It's what the fuck? We need an explanation as to why you're being a dick.
Yeah.
To get your comeuppance.
Even just something.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know, maybe a group of teenagers, egged her house after she didn't give them candy, so she's I'm gonna fucking give you guys candy every goddamn year now.
But we never get that, so,
it's a big fucking hole. Yeah. This is our antagonist, protagonist.
Yeah,
And if you give us a reason as to why you're doing this horrible thing, then, because she is supposed to be the protagonist.
Yeah.
So, without motivation for that, she is completely irredeemable.
Yeah,
Which, don't get me wrong, even with a reason, she's still irredeemable, but at least we would know
why.
We would have some reason, almost, something to maybe give us sympathy towards her.
Mm-hmm.
And her plight.
Yeah. But we just she's annoyed at kids for knocking at her door, so she's gonna just give them drugged candy.
You turn your fucking lights out.
Exactly.
That's how you how you deal with Halloween if you don't want to answer the door. You turn your fucking lights off.
Yeah.
Go to a friend's house, watch a movie.
Yeah, go see Peter.
Well, and that was the confusing point, because halfway through the story she turns her porch light on.
Yeah.
Which should have been on since the beginning because she's been giving out candy.
Also, she doles it out by the fucking handful to toddlers, and we're led to believe that she gives out even more to teenagers and older kids. But the bowl is full after 28 knocks?
Yeah. Apparently, she's just fills up the batch every time.
But we're not told that.
Yeah, I know.
So we're left to...
Yep, I'm left to assume, which makes an ass of you and me. Yeah.
No, it makes an ass out of the writer in this case.
Okay, yeah.
You are not... you have other reasons why you're an ass for this.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm actually going to get into that again, too, because I have another nitpick about this one. So she says that the creature, who was actually Peter, grew in size about up to her waist.
Yeah.
But it's actually Peter, so... And I presume that he's a normal-sized adult, so why... the sizing would kind of
also
confused
initially it's a kid of the age of 6 or 7.
Yeah, who'd be up to your waist regardless.
At least.
Yeah.
Well, I actually looked it
up.
up. And the average height for a kid who is 6 or 7 is 115 centimeters to 121 centimeters. I'm 6 feet tall. I took a meter stick, and it goes up to my waist.
Okay, so So he didn't grow at all. The kid didn't grow at all. Is what we're
If
hearing.
anything, the kid shrank.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just weird
I'm
wording and
78 centimeters, and I'm an average height adult male.
Yeah.
And Anne's a female, hopefully, theoretically.
Theoretically. Yeah.
And, on the average, females are shorter. So you've got to assume that a kid who's over, given the age, which would largely be based on height at that age, is well over her waist.
Yeah. So, yeah, it should have been, again, just weird writing and weird and lousy writing on that part.
So specific.
Yeah, and it ruins...
Well, and because it's so specific, we can prove it wrong so easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I had, the last thing I have, at least in my notes for the thoughts and stuff after I read it, she has excellent taste in horror movies. Hellraiser?
You jackass! You stepped on what I was going to
sorry.
say, because I was going to say I fucking love this movie because the protagonist, who's actually an antagonist, really, because I fucking hate her.
Yeah.
Well, after the craziness of events, sits down to watch her favorite horror movie, which is Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And see, now that's a name drop that I'm a fan of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can get behind that one. I was actually fine with that. It's just
It's not a classic Halloween movie because it has nothing to do with
Halloween, but it's just a good horror movie.
Exactly, so...
I guess that's one reason why she is not even a likable protagonist, but a protagonist rather than an antagonist in the story.
Even horrible people can like good movies.
That's fair.
Look at all the good movies I like.
Or me. All right, so that's my notes on it. I know I kind of stepped on a couple of people's toes by the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah.
with my notes.
Although we find a lot of the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was a lot more like, this is wrong, this is wrong. I was a little bit more, critical of this one for some reason. I don't know why.
Because it's that badly.
Yeah, maybe. So I guess Mikey, he stands for evil.
Alright, so let's start this with some quotes. Although the quotes are mainly there because the word's been written wrong, or there's a missing word, or whatever. Everybody knows this part if they've been listening.
It's the nitpick corner.
The
Alright.
nitpick nook.
Yeah, sorry.
Come on, man. Alliteration.
Yeah,
Even if
I will
it's
just
not
perform
actually
seppuku now.
Alright.
What if we told you about naming things? Leave it to the professionals.
Alright, so I control my sobs as much as I can as the shadow of tiny feet walking past my doorway. It's supposed to be past.
Yeah,
the door.
yeah.
Or leave out walking.
Yeah. And then he lets out an inhuman roar as he retreats, leaving a slot of time to run out the room and run. Clearly, it needs to run out of the room, and you're already running, so you don't need to run.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
And this is definitely nitpick, saying slot of time.
Yeah.
That seems like, oh, well, in this time slot we have the show that you're about to watch.
And in this case...
So it just...
Yeah.
It's like your regular scheduled time slot to run. And then the next one just sat with me odd. I'm not a chef or cook, but this next part, I quickly pull my golden-colored chicken out of the steaming oven and onto the counter where I begin to bombard it with spices of all sorts.
Yeah, you usually spice it
You
before.
don't. Well, no.
Oh, no? Okay.
If it's going back in.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Yeah.
But you also just don't bombard it with all sorts of spices. Like, cinnamon doesn't belong on a chicken. At least in my world.
It shouldn't. Unless it's... I could probably see it, but yeah, no.
No. Just no. It's not what you would normally do.
Yeah,
at the very
be more
least.
for maybe a special recipe or something. But yeah, no. Usually you wouldn't put cinnamon on a chicken.
And you just you don't word it like that. You know,
bombard it.
I seasoned it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
To perfection, even.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, so, there's some blah and the blah. And
Yeah,
I don't
bombarding,
cook
I
either.
instantly think bombarding is just like...
you're just grabbing random jars and fucking throwing a shit ton of it on.
Throwing everything at it, yeah. until it's nothing. It's more spices than chicken. Like bombard is not the word you want to have when you're making.
And all sorts is not what you want to use as your...
Be a little bit more defined with that.
Like, with a variety, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, that whole thing is just like, wow, you don't cook, do you?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like... Yeah, it was like,
Or if you do, you ain't having me over for dinner.
Yep.
And then we touch briefly on the chocolate bar, and there's a dash of vodka and some meth. And I read up, and meth in low doses is perfectly fine. It elevates moods, increases alertness and concentration, and gives energy in fatigued individuals, reduces appetite, and promotes weight loss.
See, this seems like something written by a meth addict, though.
It's fine. Where did you find this?
Small doses.
Yeah.
Methenthusiast.ca.
Well, and then it had to be a small dose to sort of sneak it past adults.
And to put it,
right?
yeah.
And
And
get
like-
it into...
Well, apparently
And then
the
she's-
adults are fucking retarded because,
Yeah.
vodka.
Yeah. Also, and it's just like, it's like, oh, hopefully the next morning they'll like get really sick or die before they get rushed to the hospital. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, and you haven't been found out yet?
Yeah, you or Peter,
Yeah.
who apparently like makes his own like lollipops and stuff, like or repackages lollipops.
and
That's a little disturbing.
and handmade goodies do not fucking float
Oh,
on Halloween,
yeah,
man. They
no,
get
you know what?
thrown the fuck out.
Even in the '90s, like when I was like growing up, like trick or treating, we were told we were always warned about like taking candied apples and stuff like that. Like no, like just take like chocolate bars and make sure the wrappers haven't been tampered with.
Yeah,
Like it's just a thing you did back, like at least for when we were kids.
yeah, and I mean like in my neck of the woods when I was growing up, we had an old lady who handed out fucking homemade baked goods, and this was honestly the best stop. But in every wrapper was her name, her number, her address.
Yeah, so if something happened,
you knew, like, your parents knew where that baked good came from.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we all knew who she was, like all the locals did, and like we completely trusted her. But you know what? If someone else
came by
and was like unsure of it, yeah, they would probably honestly still throw it out even with that card in there.
Yeah.
It's just that
it's just something something you do, like if you want to make sure that you're not going, it's like, yeah, this is safe, don't worry about it. But like you don't take candy from that has been tampered, or baked goods that have been tampered with, because like
it's just that you don't know what's in.
Exactly, yeah. Don't you put it in your mouth. Just stuff it in your face. Though it might look good to eat. Stop that. Keep going.
Anyone who knows that is now singing that in their head.
If you don't know just what it is. Remember, boys and girls? Alright. Don't put it in your mouth. Alright, I'll just leave now. Anyway, continue, Mikey.
Okay. So, talking about the kid now, he's 6 or 7 years old, and we established the height of between 115 and 121 centimeters. And when we first introduced him, he's wearing the mask, hoodie, and jeans.
Yeah.
Later, when we see the monster, it is described as it is a pale, skinny, bony monster, still wearing the same mask and the same hoodie.
Yep.
Hissing and spewing out black liquids that appear to be blood. The height of it has increased as well as to about the same height as my waist.
Yeah. Yeah, the rest of that, like the... So, how do you know it's a pale, bony figure?
Do you realize what's missing there?
The jeans. Yeah, no, I'm aware.
So, clearly, he's shrunk in size, his jeans no longer fit, so they're down around his ankles, and the very next scene he's crawling towards...
Because he tripped over his pants around his ankles.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense now.
Yep,
Yeah.
clearly.
But it's a very comedic scene when you look at it.
When you look at it, yeah, again, yeah. Like, I'm sure it would be a creepy scene, but it would also be kind of comical.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So, and then the ending, the explanation was bad. So the author states there was no kid and no monster, just candies and Peter who is dead. And then they go and state that it was Peter, that Peter was the boy and monster all along. And then they state that the boy was real at the beginning.
Yeah, that there was a kid that had the outfit and stuff like that, and that she hallucinated him coming back a couple of times.
All these things contradict each other.
No, it's not done well.
And we talked about the knocks on the door and how she lost count. It was just annoying.
I kind of
29 is in there twice.
Yeah, no, okay, so about that, I actually kind of think I know what they were going for within the story. I don't think it's the right way to do it, but it was the 29th time, and the 29th time again, it's the same door knock.
I think it was fucked up.
If it was fucked up, okay, I may have read it a different way.
They could have said it was the 30th time, but it sounded a lot like the previous one.
Yeah.
Which would have been a lot clearer, and continued with the numbering. As soon as you start numbering something, do it right.
Yeah. Or don't do it at all.
Yeah. Which, when it came to the last sentence and said, oh yeah, and then came the 30th knock on the door, I was like, 31st.
And then after they'll do the 32nd.
Yeah, so that was just, I was happy with that. And then I also sort of examined it from another direction, which explains being larger and going to her waist is that she'd be freakishly tall. Okay. And then substitute Peter with Peter Dinklage. Which is slightly taller than a 6 or 7-year-old.
Mikey, this isn't sleep paralysis. That's a bit of a stretch. I understand that there can be different norms, but it was never mentioned that he was Peter Dinklage.
Well, and it was also never mentioned that she was freakishly tall, so we're going to assume that she is of average height.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just another potential way to look at it.
Yeah.
Don't try and save these pieces of shit.
Wow.
And that's all I have.
All right.
Well, I mean, I really only have one last thing after everything else that I got all the same gripes as you guys, but for the most part, okay, the person who wrote this, it's not, at any point, it's not well written.
Yeah.
But they suffer from the problem that a lot of other creepypastas have, especially some that are a little bit longer in length. And that's fucking hurrying up when you're getting to the end and not taking your time, not making sure it makes sense, and not, because, don't get me wrong, it was falling apart at the beginning, but the ending was just a fucking mess.
Yeah.
The whole, I've got this great twist, I really gotta get, okay, if it's a great twist, take your time and do the twist justice.
Yeah.
And honestly, the twist still would have been better if if the kid was always her conscience, her Jiminy.
No, I like that idea because again, I get what the story was going for, where it was the guilt, it was essentially the guilt beast going after her.
Well, that would have been. It should have been. That's not what it was. But then
it's just, she was apparently hallucinating.
She was turned in, and I think it would have been. I think it would have been better if that kid had have never existed.
And it would have just been a psyche thing, yeah.
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 And, the fact that she killed Peter as well, it would have really tied in with that, because he's the other guy doing it.
Yeah.
So, she put an end to all of the drugged candy on her street. That would have worked really well.
It all up together.
Granted, it would have been, I think that would have been accidental on the part of this writer, but it would have been an amazing, just fucking, everything's tied up in a nice, neat package because someone went crazy.
Yeah.
And because if the kid had have always been her conscience, it would have made her, yes, she's poisoning children every year on Halloween, but it would have made her slightly more redeemable because there is a conscience buried somewhere deep inside this monster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so that honestly, that would have fixed the whole fucking story, at least, the plot.
Yeah.
Because the story's still poorly written.
Yeah,
but other than that, well, because then you don't even need the motivation for her because
it's more focused on that, yeah.
It still would have helped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, the whole thing is just
It was cobbled together.
half-assed.
Yeah, cobbled together, thrown on one. Yeah.
The whole way. And honestly, if you're going to put something out there for people to read, why do it half-assed? Why not use your whole ass?
Just go full Monty right in there.
Go full ass. I mean, I want pressed hams on this show, not fucking, this half-ass bullshit.
I know what's going to be the title card this week. Just two big old hams. No. Anyway, yeah. I agree. Like, it was there was a cool idea in here, but it was half-assed and kind of just haggled together. So, and then thrown online.
And
that's
the ending was just fucking...
Yeah.
Just, I've got to vomit this out as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't do anyone any service. It's no good for the reader. It makes the writer look bad. I mean, no matter how bad you are, because, I mean, like I said, there's problems with this story from the get-go, but no matter... It's made all the worse by the fact that the ending is just thrown up.
Yeah, and it is
screen.
a constant thing that we see on the show for stories, like for writers. Like, they just have to get their ideas out, and then they just...
If you're in such a rush that you're doing it poorly, stop. Step away from your WordPress. Go to bed. Fucking come at it fresh in the morning, or fucking take a break and come at it fresh so that you don't rush it. It's not about getting it done, it's about getting it done properly.
Yeah. That legit could be a motto of ours. Or one of the number one rule for that we have for writers.
And this all goes back to the golden rule of edit, because if this had been read after it was written, it would have been like, man, this doesn't make any fucking sense unless you're me and know all of it. Okay, I'm gonna fucking redo it. Instead, no. Oh, I wrote it. It's perfect. It's just what I wanted. No, it's not. It can't be, because it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yes, that is a common thing, but it really just stems from no one's editing their shit.
Yeah.
Just because it's easy to fucking throw shit out on the internet doesn't mean you should just throw shit out that's, with no effort.
Yeah, because, I mean, they are writers. They need to, you should, sure, you might be proud of your work, but you still need to have someone look at it before
posting at this point. They're people with computers and internet access.
Yeah.
Once you edit things, once you have drafts, then you're a writer. This is just garbage. They they put it through fucking spell check. Because the words are largely, I'm pretty sure the words are spelled right. They're just not they're not the right words. Doesn't make sense. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I would rather read a story that's twice this fucking long as some of these ones that's done well. And yeah, they're not. Meanwhile, as it stands, when we fucking go to read a creepypasta and it's fucking super long, I'm just like, God damn it. Why? Because I know it's not going to be any better than the other ones, based on, experience.
2 years, yeah.
And it's just going to be long and horrible. Whereas, if people just fucking take their goddamn time, it's not that hard to do. You should want to do it. And I'm with that, I'm talking about experience. Yes, I get it, you're in a rush, but if you're not putting out what was in your head, why are you putting it out there? I cannot wrap my head around this. You should be putting it out so that it's so fucking over-polished that it's blindingly reflective. But no, they're not. It's how are you not taking pride in what you're doing? You're supposed to be creating something from nothing, and you're just throwing out garbage, half-done bullshit?
Welcome to the internet.
That's my Halloween routine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you do pose some good points about that. I love reading creepypastas, but, I mean, I do understand that most of them are not written up to par. Or are just thrown online. So, despite the fact that I like them, I do, that's why the show fucking exists. Is so we can get our opinions out there and maybe help some people out and help readers, find some good ones. And
they could start helping me out.
Someday. Anyway, so I guess with that lengthy discussion, I guess we boil down to recommendations. I will not be recommending this one. It had a cool idea, it was their potential, but like a lot of the stories we do, falls short. So, as you have heard the last 10, 20 minutes. Mikey?
Well, I'm not recommending it because the ending had explained so many things that contradict each other. It's almost like the author didn't know how to end it. So
Again, would it helped if they just came back to it later and then worked it out? Yeah.
So it just fell apart. Well, probably fell apart a lot sooner than that. But
that was when it completely disintegrated.
Yeah.
Yep.
It mentioned Hellraiser, so I love it. Fully recommend. Everyone should read this many times. Share it amongst your friends and family. In fact, strangers. Strangers.
Is that your trick or your treat for this week, for this year?
Obviously, it's a trick. It's garbage. I can't even say it's a good idea, not fully realized, because of how far off the mark it is realized. Like, it's not even half realized. It's fractionally realized, and it's garbage. Pure garbage. From start to finish, basically.
Well, that's an opinion, so.
Yes.
All right, so that has been this week's episode. If you like what you heard, if you didn't, if you're crying right now because you're the author of this.
Well, they're crying because you mentioned the whole don't you put in your mouth song. That's why they're crying.
that might be it, yeah.
That's why I'm crying. Mostly because it's been in my head the whole time since.
That's my trick for this year. Yeah, if you can comment in the comment section below where this gets posted, whether it be on Kiwi6, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr.
Stalls.
We're all on Twitter at East Stands for Evil, Dr. Leviathan, and Review Cultist. You can leave us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com, where you can leave us suggestions for other creepypastas you'd like us to discuss on the show. Also, you can check out each title card for each episode at crazonstudios.tumblr.com. And if you feel like supporting us, you can back us on Patreon at aldenterigamortis. So, until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm still Dr. Leviathan.
And I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And this has been Al Dente Rigor Mortis. Happy Halloween. Sleep well. Alright, so want to get the story then?
Nope.
Alright. Oh, hello. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Got something that might interest you, stranger.
God damn it.
Hey, you're not here.
Yeah, get out of here. Just let her go. You're drunk and sick. Sick.